Okay, so today we are going to learn about another civilization, and the name of the civilization is Mesopotamia, and it is also known as the Cradle of civilization. Means this is where civilization started to begin. So moving forward with the civilization named Mesopotamia, let's get to know more about it. It was one of the earliest civilizations in the world, means this is where the civilizations actually began. And this civilization is also known the Fertile Crescent. It is one of the earliest of all civilizations as people formed permanent settlements. So what is the meaning of Mesopotamia? Mesopotamia is a Greek word that means between the rivers, especially the area between Tigris River and Euphrates River. Means these were the two rivers where the civilization was located at, and this place is present Iraq. It lasted for approximately 3,000 years. Its people were the first to irrigate fields, devised a system of writing, developed mathematics, invented the wheel, and learned to work with metal. And before that, people were not doing all of these. So here we are looking at the map of Mesopotamia. As you can see, the green area is the whole of Mesopotamia. It was located near the Iraq region, and it was near Syria and Turkey. They also had two rivers side by side of these civilizations. As you know, rivers were very important to settle down at that point of time. So if we look at the geographic of this area and the geographical condition of the area, there wasn't much rain. The climate was hot and dry. It used to have windstorms in winter, and it also had catastrophic floods. You all know what floods are. From the river in spring, the soil was arid, containing little minerals, means that the soil was not very useful. There were no stones or timber resources, so the area was not very resourceful. Now let's look at the history of Mesopotamia and how it came into being. Over the centuries, many different people lived in this area, creating a collection of independent states. So what happened was, in Mesopotamia, there were states within the civilization. So here we are going to look at the four states that were there. There was Sumer in the southern part, Akkad in the northern part, Babylonia. These two regions were unified. Alright? And then there was Assyrian Empire, which was very popular and till date is very popular. Okay, now let's look at the religion that the people of Mesopotamia used to follow. So the people of Mesopotamia used to follow a polytheistic religion. What is a polytheistic religion? Polytheistic religion is the one that has more than one god. Means that they do not want or worship only one god like us. They used to have 36 gods and demigods. The gods were worshipped at a huge temple known as Ziggurat. Now let's look at the interesting part. The position of kings were enhanced and supported by religion, means that the kings were known as the servants, or you can say the people who can talk to the god. Kingship believed to be created by gods, means the king of those area was created by gods themselves, and the king's power were divine and ordinate. Matlab, whatever the king would say, the people had to do it because the command was coming from God. Believed that God lived on distant mountains. So that is what they used to believe, that God lives on a distant mountain, and the kings used to go and talk to them. Each essence, they had a lot of gods, like they had 2,600 gods. Each god had control of certain thing, and each city was ruled by a different god. King and priest acted as an interpreters as they told the people what the god wanted them to do by examining the liver or lungs of a stained sheep. So there were 5 prominent gods. So there was Enel, who was known as the supreme god and the god of air. Then there was Star, goddess of fertility and life. Then there was An, god of heaven. Itki, god of water and underwater. Shamshish, god of sun and giver of law. So the greatest contribution of Mesopotamian people and the civilization till today is they created writing, because writing is very important in passing on the information that was there. So the greatest contribution of Mesopotamia to the Western civilization was the invention of writing. They started writing. This allowed the transmission of knowledge that configurated of law, recorded the verticate trade and farming, etc. Sumerian wrote on a wet clay. So even in writing there were several other types of writings, and people used to do it differently. Each state in the Mesopotamian civilization used to write in different way. So in Sumerian wrote on wet clay table with the point of reed, did write in the sun to make a tablet. Scribes were only ones who could read and write, and served as priests, recorded keepers and accounts. As society evolved, the first form of writing was developed, and it was called cuneiform. So the first form of writing that was formed was known as cuneiform. You can also search this word on Google, and you would know a lot of new things about it. So cuneiform spread to Persia and Egypt and became the vehicle for the growth and spread of civilization and the exchange of idea amongst culture. So by writing, the people could transmit their ideas and knowledge and new inventions from one place to another. And the writing of that time was very different from what we have today. As you can see the picture, this is how they used to write in olden days.